But let me just take you through a couple of the classic kinds of frauds that are going on out there. And I always kind of get not a laugh, but I'm always amazed at how willing people are to turn over their money in copious quantities to people that they don't know and have no reason to trust. But I just went through this morning the Securities and Exchange Commission website and a couple of others. Let me just share one with you here. This came from the Securities and Exchange Commission. It said the SEC has announced fraud charges and an asset freeze against a Florida resident who stole more than $15 million in investor funds to purchase a multi-million-dollar home, luxury vehicles, and millions of dollars in jewelry and home furnishings. Okay. Basically, it says this guy obtained most of the funds from one Pennsylvania resident who invested his own money, and then funds were provided by his attorney and more than 40 of this one guy's friends, acquaintances, and business associates. Boy, this guy must really feel like a chump after referring all of his friends there. The SEC alleges that the guy stole investors' funds to purchase a $2.4 million home, more than 10 luxury vehicles, including Porsches, Lamborghinis, Ferraris, a Bentley, and a Lincoln limousine. He spent further investor monies to lease a 2,500 square foot garage space to store the cars. Didn't want them to be out in the weather, anything happened to them. He also purchased approximately $1.4 million worth of jewelry, including an engagement ring for his wife. Isn't that sentimental? That's kind of nice. And approximately $2.3 million in home renovations, including a home movie theater. Okay. This guy had no intention of investing anybody's money. And these people willingly gave him $15 million. Wow, no questions asked. And they only caught the guy because one of them said, I think there's something wrong here. I think there's something wrong here. Here's another one. There's a type of fraud out there that I think is perhaps the most vile type of fraud, and it's called affinity fraud. And what that means is a person will work their way into an organization. This, unfortunately, is most often done through religious organizations or other kinds of social organizations, and they build a trust. And from that trust, they're able to steal tremendous amounts of money. One of the most classic cases comes out of Florida, once again. We seem to have a common thread here, Florida. Okay. This is an organization called Greater Ministries International Church. I told you this other guy took in $15 million. The people running this fraud took in $578 million from people that belong to a particular church. They were finally shut down by regulators in Ohio and Alabama. Nearly 20,000 investors nationwide and internationally were persuaded by church leaders to mortgage their homes, run up large credit card debt, or cash in retirement funds. Greater Ministries officials claimed their program was anointed. Anointed. And they often cited Luke 6:38. Give, and it shall be given unto you, good measure, pressed down and shaken together, and running over shall men give into your bosom. They used the gospel, they used the Bible to solicit money, and people just came running. People just came running. They did it without any questions whatsoever. So, again, they finally got caught because all Ponzi schemes, and that's sort of the basis of any of these things, ultimately come down. Charles Ponzi, the first guy to put together one of these schemes, at least that we know of. Although I think they probably go back to way back to the dark ages, Ponzi schemes. But he was running a stamp fraud. It was a postal office kind of fraud thing that he was running. It worked pretty well for a long, long time. Ultimately got caught, and his name is now forever linked to these types of investment frauds.